say, kids, what time is it?
Do you realize that we hit 1/3 this week? This is the 6th week out of 18.
Oh, right. Yep. That's exactly 1/3.
Oh,
yeah,
we just started.
And
somehow
certainly feels like we just started. Yeah.
And somehow we've managed to actually record these on. Hey, we haven't missed one yet.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So how'd you do this week?
That's right. It'll be a third. A little bit better than I thought what it was going to be. So I did 10-6. I thought I was going to have just a disastrous 7-9 or something. But
well, I've officially fallen 6 games behind you. I was 9-7 this week. So
that's your strategy. You're lulling me into
that. We'll go with that.
And then I'll start making mistakes all over the place. I'll start reading my own headlines and oh yeah.
Yeah, please become the Chiefs. So,
yeah,
so what do you got? What do you want to talk about first here?
I mean, I'm gonna leave. I'm probably gonna leave the biggest one for now, just because I want to give you a chance to see. The freshest one I got is from Monday night, which was a weird game to me because that's the Colts defense that I expected from the beginning of the year, where they stopped Baltimore cold. I couldn't believe it. They stopped them cold for 3 quarters, more than 3 quarters. It was actually I think the first time I thought they really woke up was when the Colts, I kind of had a really bad decision of attempting that really long field goal. It gets blocked. And it's from then I was oh my gosh, they're going to come back, aren't they? It's I thought the game was won until then. And I'm oh my gosh, they're coming back, aren't they? It's
4 touchdown drives in a row.
Yeah. I just at first I just couldn't believe that Baltimore was being so inept. But I have to give the Colts defense credit too. But geez, I couldn't believe it. And Jackson is just he's a great player, but it's almost he's going into this automatic kind of whatever, just sidewinding the passes and giving away the ball. How many times did he give away the ball at the goal line?
Twice.
It was at least twice, and I think one of them went all the way back too, which is a big turnaround. Somehow the Colts got it all the way back to a touchdown. I think it was one of those tipped passes, and I couldn't believe it. But I was what? Who are you? It's why are they so inept here at the goal line? And then just in typical Baltimore fashion, they like to make it interesting, and then after that block field goals, the Colts couldn't do anything. I thought Wentz, he moved okay. I mean, I didn't think he lost the game for them. He was okay.
No picks.
No picks. He did what he needed to do just to kind of a little bit conservative with the short passes and the sure passes and stuff like that. But he didn't kill them or anything like that. And Jonathan Taylor, he was freaking amazing at the beginning, at least. He was running all over the place, just like we thought would happen. And it was I was thinking, holy cow, the Colts are now they're going to be in the middle of it. They're going to go to 2-3. Titans are 3-2, and they're right there. It's one game. And then after, they got their hearts broken. I started thinking how we perceive a 1-game difference into miles away. Don't you think? Don't we? Usually people think of 1-4 as miles away from 2-3. I don't know. It's only 1 game, but yet it makes all the difference.
Well, when you only have a 17-game schedule, it makes a huge difference.
That's the NFL. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
it's
a 10-game losing.
Oh, I'm almost at 500. 1-4, your season's done.
Yeah, it's a 10-game losing streak in baseball. It really is.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. Yeah.
I've been saying it that Lamar looks better in the pocket. He looks comfortable. He looks confident. 442 yards, 4 touchdown drives in a row. That team does not blink. They're so well coached. They don't.
It's unbelievable how they could suffer so many devastating plays, and it's okay, we'll go back out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That was, and again another overtime. What's that? I think they said 19 overtime games this year already.
Oh wow,
16
I
or
didn't
19,
realize. I
somewhere in
didn't
there.
realize that. There have
Yeah,
been a lot. I admit there have been
yeah,
a
a
lot.
lot. Well, we've been talking about it, how we're getting all these 2-point, 1-point field goal finishes all year long.
Yeah, yeah,
So with
yeah.
that, I'll segue into everyone had kicking problems this week. I've never seen anything
That's
like it.
another big story. Yep,
The
yep.
Green Bay Cincinnati game. What? 2:58 left in the game, and suddenly everybody decides they can't kick anymore. So you have Mason Crosby missed 3 on the Green Bay side, and you have his name escapes me, McPherson.
Mc,
On is it McPherson, the rookie for
I know,
Cincinnati,
I know. I
misses
was trying to
2.
think of. It sounds just like that. Yeah.
They're trading misses in overtime. It's like nobody wants to win this game. It was so bizarre,
I
so
couldn't
bizarre to
believe it.
watch. Mason Crosby, my God, he's almost automatic. He's been
I think
around
he
forever.
missed like two in the last 2 years, and now he's like
He
missed
did
3 in a row.
3
It's
in
like
a
crazy.
row. Yeah,
What the heck?
yeah. So it was just crazy. The overtime was nuts. Green Bay goes to kick and misses, and then Cincinnati gets and misses, and I'm like, what?
I think that both teams kind of like played way too conservative, played way too much to the seeing how badly the kicking game was going, especially on the Green Bay side where you kind of have a little bit more confidence. But Joe Burrow too could have. I think they made too many like they should have gone for more like just more sure kicks or closer or just gone for the touchdown or something. I mean, I just seemed like they were playing very conservative for that. That's I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, and it came out, yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was Monday. I
Oh,
don't even
Joe
know what day
Burrow.
it is right now. About Joe Burrow got hit in the
Yeah,
throat and like his larynx got kind of crushed or collapsed. So he had
yeah.
trouble breathing and swallowing, and he finished the game, man.
Which is amazing that he just stayed in there and
He
finished the game.
he is one tough
I
customer.
couldn't believe it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't, even though I lost this, I don't feel bad picking Cincinnati because I think they played as well as just right up with them. Just like go taking them into overtime. I'm kind of glad they did well. I mean, they still, I know it's a loss, and you don't get anything from a loss, but I still think they're a good team
They
getting
are a good
better.
team. They're a very good team. And it's funny, I took Green Bay in that game, so I'm sitting
Right?
there watching
Yep.
going, all right, I got this. Oh, Edson's got it. Oh, they
Oh
missed.
no,
Oh,
I
no.
know.
Oh, I've got this. Oh, he missed. Oh, Edson's got it. Oh, he missed.
After a while, I'm like, I'm not watching anymore until I see the final. It's like, no, I don't want to deal with this. It's like, you guys are like killing me
That was
here.
crazy. It was a
And
circus.
just see that the again, I can't think of his name either, but the Cincinnati kick, like he was sure he won the game. He started
Oh,
jumping up
yeah,
and
yeah,
down,
yeah.
high fiving all his. So it's like, and then they're like, look. It's like
He started doing that. I was like, I thought he missed.
he did, but he was sure. He said, I kicked it well. It was like I
Yeah,
knew it was
but
going
I
in.
don't care if he kicked it well. It didn't go through the big
Right.
Y. It has to go through the big Y.
He was making. He's like, oh, I know a big tailwind came in at the last minute.
Yeah.
And it was like, I thought the refs were like playing a practical joke on me, like saying it was no good when it was.
Oh, rookies. All right, what do you
Yeah,
want to talk about
that
next?
was a crazy
That
game.
was crazy. That was crazy.
I unfortunately I didn't get to see this live, but man, just watching highlights so far, this is the at least one of the games of the year. I think Cleveland Chargers. Wow,
Oh,
that was like a crazy shoot, and it really only became a shootout like in the fourth quarter.
yes.
I think the Chargers scored like 26 points just in the fourth quarter. Oh my gosh,
You
that
know
was
what it reminded
was
me of?
crazy.
It reminded me of last year. The Cleveland Baltimore game.
Baltimore, yeah, that was it.
The one
Yeah,
where
yeah.
where Lamar had to run to the bathroom. That same thing happened.
That's exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was later in the year, but this is like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh! And the Chargers, holy cow! I mean, Justin Herbert, how did he become like such a veteran in like the second year? It's like I see those plays. And it's like his decisions are like so second, like they're almost always right. And it's like no matter what happens, it's like, and he takes off and runs too when it's like open for him. It's like he does everything. He's not just sitting back there. He can move around the pocket. He can run. And he makes those beautiful passes. And it was like the only thing I can, I mean, the Cleveland offense, Mayfield, he did great too. But the only thing I'm thinking is like, what happened to the Cleveland defense, who held the Vikings to like 7 points or whatever? I mean, something. I know they did have a couple injuries, but man, are the Chargers really this good? Wow.
Yeah.
And now they're like, what? They got 2 games on the Chiefs. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wake up. It's like, damn.
I picked Herbert as MVP before the season started, and
Well, that's right on track.
so far so good, right?
You know what I like about their where's their coach?
Brandon Staley.
You know, they literally do play to just win all out. I mean, you know how many 4th downs they've already
They're
gone
fearless.
for, and they make them like at 4th and 7, 4th and 9.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about when you're forced to go forth, like when you're down by 2 scores with a minute left. No, this is like when the game is still like kind of very close. They just hit like all the right decisions, and it's like, and it works out for them. And it was like, and with them, it's like, yeah, we're going in it. Like the confidence is like just makes them do. They converted so many of those.
They look
it's incredible.
They look like the new Chiefs.
Yeah, except they're not. You know, they're more of like they're not where it's like, oh, they need some kind of miracle at the end all the time. You know, they kind of win it in a more traditional way, but doing a lot of untraditional things.
As far as we'll go for a 4th down if we feel like it.
Yeah, and then we're not gonna make it. We know we're gonna make it, so let's just do it. It's
right.
Like it doesn't even. It's not even like, oh, let's call a timeout, talk it over. No,
right.
That's an enormous amount of confidence that you have that they have in a quarterback, and of course I don't doubt that.
Yeah. Well, the old Chiefs.
The old Chiefs.
Something's not right. Something's not right. They're clearly very beatable now at 2 and 3.
Yep.
There are holes all over that team, and it almost looks like, and I think Al Michaels might have even said it. Is this a hangover from the beating they took in the Super Bowl?
Oh.
I don't think it's so much that. More of Tampa Bay drew the blueprint on what to do to this team. And granted, they have a new offensive line, but
true, yeah.
But it's clear that if you get in Mahomes' face and you take away Tyreek Hill, I mean, he was playing without Kelsey this week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes down for a while. He's got a knee sprain or something. Luckily, it's not worse than that. But what's obvious, and what's been obvious over the last 3 seasons, is their defense is very suspect. They have a couple of really good players, like Honey Badger and Chris Jones, but beyond that, they're average at best.
And this was like that all last year. Which is why so many of their wins came like, you know, the very last drive. Yep.
And you see guys like Hardman and what's his name, Pickle. These guys are dropping balls. They're just not. You know, I think of that play in the Super Bowl last year with, you know, it was Williams, the running back, but you know, the one where Mahomes was like falling sideways and he
throws like
threw it and hits the guy in the face because he's just not ready to catch the ball. Like that's what's happening beyond Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So yeah. They've got some rust on that car, and Buffalo Buffalo asserted themselves as the preeminent power in the AFC.
For sure, yep. They have the thing is they have such a good offense and such a good defense. It's like it's very rare when you catch a team which has both really playing at the top level. I mean, the Chiefs usually pull out these type of wins, but the thing is you can't do it against a team like the Bills. You can't have you can't be sloppy with the ball, which has been like a theme with them this year, where they're sloppy with the ball, like fumbling, even Mahomes throwing interceptions, and then able to just kind of recover and like go on their like 3 touchdown runs in a row and pull it out. But you can't do that against a team that's actually plays good defense, and it's not going to let you do that.
I don't think teams are afraid of them anymore either.
Yeah, they see all the vulnerabilities. You know, they're not playing good ball security, and they know that they can run and pass on that defense.
You know, you go back to last year. I think of the Miami game where Miami was taking it to the Chiefs, but then they did a couple quick hits to Tyreek Hill and scored. You know, they got those quick scores, and it seems like when that would happen, teams would back off. They're like, we got to be careful. We got to roll safety. We got to do all this kind of stuff. And this year, they're not blinking like that. They're like, okay, The Chiefs scored. we're going to go down and score too.
That happened with the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chargers went out ahead. The Chiefs couldn't do anything right. Then they came back and took the lead, and the Chargers, okay, well, we're just going to go and take it back.
Yep. And you've seen it right from week one. The Browns should have beaten them too. They should really.
That's true.
They're lucky they're not 1-4. What do you got next?
This is going to be very interesting as the year goes on, and we have new teams up top there. Unfortunately, I kind of halfway don't want to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up from a different angle, not the controversy angle. It's more like, in the back of my head, and I think we talked about it, it's like, when are the Raiders going to kind of, start their downward spiral? I expected it maybe in the middle or towards like the 3/4. Well, it's already happened.
Yeah.
It's like before the whole controversy with Gruden being forced to resign, they already had lost one game. And now it's like 2 in a row, and against the Bears. Come on,
at home.
This is something. Yeah, at home. This is something you cannot lose against the Bears at home at this point, and consider yourselves contenders. I mean, I think it's really going to be bad for them for the rest of the year, at least for the next few weeks until maybe they can kind of make a recovery. But I don't see how. I don't know, and I know everybody's already talked about the whole thing what Gruden did, the emails 10 years ago or whatever, and I get it. It's not good, and he had to resign, and now I don't know. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do now.
Yeah, I agree.
It was going to be so fun to watch them compete to the end. But
what have I been saying? Like, they look like they've been having fun. They're pulling for each other. Chucky looks fun. Like,
exactly.
Fun.
Yeah.
This email thing, it's part of a bigger story, I think, that's going to drop down the road.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm trying to hope not, but I think it is.
They found his emails, and they're investigating Bruce Allen's, right?
Yep.
So they were already looking into the Redskins, or not the Redskins, the football team, right?
The football team, yep.
Here's the thing. So already today, being Wednesday, they've stripped his ring of fame in Tampa Bay.
Jeez,
EA Sports has removed him from the NFL,
I didn't hear
the
that.
Madden Sports video game. So it's like they're erasing John Gruden from existence because that's what cancel culture does. Here's what bothers me. Don't tell me that the ownership of Washington, the ownership of Tampa Bay, the ownership of the Raiders, most of the people in that league, all the way through the top of the league office, didn't know who he was and how he acted. And now they're virtue signaling by trying to erase him from history to protect their own sorry asses, which they're going to go down too. These guys are all a bunch of scumbags. It's the old boys network, right? And so taking him out of the Ring of Honor and throwing him, this is the kind of stuff that it's going to buy you some time, but it's obvious that they're throwing up smoke screens. It's a giant virtue signal. They're all in this together. If he's emailing people like that and they let that slide for over a decade, they all know. And come on, when you hire people, you vet them. He's going out to dinner with these people. Come on, they don't know that he acts.
How could they have not? How could they not?
Because they act like this too. That's the story.
Right. So they'd rather just sacrifice him and just hope that there's garbage doesn't come out.
That's what they're. I think that's exactly what they're trying to do. And watch out, Washington. I think they're looking to go after Dan Snyder. I think they want to have to force Dan Snyder to sell that team. I think that's how this whole thing started. I don't think they want Dan Snyder in their league anymore. Yeah,
it seems like they never really liked him, his style, and
he's a dirtbag. Yeah, and he's destroyed one of the most legendary franchises. You go back with Joe Gibbs and George Allen and the former Redskins were a National Football League powerhouse and one of the most iconic franchises, and they've been reduced to a laughingstock for the last 20 years.
And he's not. I don't think he's in charge of the operation now, or he's not really. Is he still involved?
He's the owner.
I know he's the owner, but it was like for some reason.
Yeah, he kind of got out of the way.
His wife was trying to.
He's letting his football.
That's the way they. Yeah, that's the way they gloss it over by having the other part of the.
He owns the team, though.
I know.
They want him out. And
it's really like it's easy, not much easier to just do that to a coach or a player, but when it's an owner, that's a little bit different because it's like there's big financial aspect to it that like it's his property. He owns the team.
Yeah,
So
but they've
it's
done it.
so-
They did it to Marge Schott in baseball.
That's
They
true.
did it to I can't think of the guy's name who ran the LA Clippers. They ran him out. He had to sell it to Steve Ballmer. So they're going to force a sale if they find this kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
and I think that's where they were going. They were looking into Washington. They saw this stuff because Jay Gruden was there.
Right.
Remember his brother, and I'm sure these so they stumbled on these Chucky emails and they were like, "Oh crap!" And it just got
But you're
worse
right.
and worse.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more of that that's hidden, and there's a lot more people that could be on their way out if they really kind of expose all that. But do they want to expose? How far do they want to, get the NFL under this type of scrutiny? I don't know.
It's interesting because don't forget Roger Goodell works for the owners, and now if you've got a few owners, and now it points back to him too. This could be a real mess. This could be a real mess. So you're right.
It's a shame too, because I was kind of in, despite my team being so bad, I was kind of like enjoying the other aspects of and it's like to have this kind of hang over the whole season. It might be, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you got that, and you got Urban Meyer on his way out in Jacksonville too.
Yeah,
so
it's another controversy.
But you know what? It's always about the product on the field for me, because the league, let's face it, they're a borderline mob organization anyway. So.
Well, how many times they've let slide when just players, commit crime or just commit.
That's the thing. If it's bringing in money, and that's what I'm saying. Like with Tampa Bay, the Glazers didn't know this. They didn't care. Chucky brought them a Super Bowl. They don't care what he says. They pretend they care now, but they didn't care.
Now.
Right. That's my point. You know what? That's kind of what I was trying to say. Like, cut the crap. You're all a bunch of phonies. Because when it worked to benefit you, you let it slide. And now you're going to act like some kind of hero, some social hero. They all deserve to go down. Like, all of them deserve to go down. Whoever's, a part of this mess. Back to the field.
Yeah.
I don't have too much more because everything else was kind of meh.
Yeah, me too. That was it.
I just want to say that the poor Giants. Oh my God!
Yeah,
their three best players all left the game at the same, basically around the same time, and that was that for them in Big D.
It was all like freaky thing. It wasn't like someone trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah,
it was like Saquon was just did he step on someone? Someone accidentally stepped on him. Something like it was just kind of like an accident. It wasn't even like he was carrying the ball or anything. He was kind of just standing there.
Right.
And then the play with Daniel Jones, you can't fault really the defender because Daniel Jones was the one who lowered his head to go, and then the defender kind of just got caught in between that.
Which happens.
Like, okay,
right.
It wasn't like someone trying to hurt him or anything. That's the shame of it. It was kind of like freaky things, and it's like, you're right. I feel bad for them.
And Galladay too, but Galladay, I guess, is only spraying. He'll be back soon too. But it's almost like watching the Thursday night game. It was weird with the Rams and the Seahawks where Matthew Stafford hurt his finger, and they kept making a whole point of it. Is that affecting his play? Is that affecting his play? And as soon as he comes out with a different rap and starts putting up points, Russell Wilson goes and cracks his finger on somebody.
Oh my gosh.
And he's out for like 4 to 6 weeks. He really mangled his finger. So all the talk about Matthew Stafford's finger in the first half ends up Russell Wilson's finger, who's so bizarre. Like between that and the kicking, weird injuries in the kicking. Joe Burrow with the throw. There was so many weird things this week.
I think it was like around 25 kicks missed this week, and the thing is, half of them were like extra points. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So I guess they got what they wanted out of moving the extra point a little bit. It's like they got all this.
Yeah. Here's how you know it was a weird week. Big Ben looked good.
I did see that. Yeah, he had a really long, at least one long touchdown pass in the air. Not like where he passes the 3 yards and the runner goes. It was really, but did I hear this right? Is what's their receiver? Juju Smith.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
He's out for a while, right?
The year.
Okay.
The rest of the year.
Oh, it's the year. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Tore up his shoulder. Is having surgery tomorrow, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah. Ben did move them that off.
And look what happened. They ran Najee Harris 25 times. He had 100 and something yards on the ground. Boom. When you run the ball, good things happen. We keep saying it here. Look at Dallas again this week behind Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, they're 2 weeks in a row now. They found that perfect, like almost perfect balance between the running and the passing, and it's like that puts that whoever defense it is just in a bad situation. It's like, what do we do here?
Yeah. And real quick before we move on to our picks, Dan Campbell. There's no
Oh,
crying in football.
yeah.
There's no crying in football.
I felt bad for him.
I did too.
Really.
I did too. I understand. I mean,
That team should probably like have 2 wins,
2 or 3
it's like
wins.
it's horrible. But,
You know what he reminds me of though, because he's kind of still a player.
yeah, he is.
He acts like he's still a player, and he feels like he's part of that locker room, like more than he should be. It reminds me
Yeah,
of the guy who goes to college, graduates college, and takes a job out of college.
right out of
You never leave school. You're the eternal student. Like you can't form that separation. That's
yeah,
kind of what
yeah.
it reminds me of.
Yep. He's probably thinking he's thinking in back that he was actually out there trying to get that
Living
win. It's like,
vicariously through his
yeah,
players. Yeah.
yeah,
Weird. So it was a weird week. Entertaining as all hell, but weird.
yeah.
So, this week we got buys. We have less games to pick this week.
That's right. That's right.
So our buys are the Jets, the Saints, the
Jets.
Falcons, and the 49ers. So they all get a rest, and the 49ers, for one, could really use
They
it.
need their injuries are already starting to pile up again, like last year.
Yeah. And how about that Elijah Pitts for Atlanta? Look really good.
Yes. Yep.
So, all right. Well, this week starts Thursday night with they've been scheduling these great, but this might be the first humdinger. Tampa Bay travels to Philadelphia Thursday, 8:20.
I don't know about that. Maybe it won't be. I mean, after what the Eagles did were they in Carolina or okay against Carolina?
Yeah, it was Carolina. Yeah.
I mean, they showed some life. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think they can win in a shootout with Tampa Bay.
No, I understand. I don't think they can win either. I think I'm hoping that they'll make it interesting, just like an interesting game. That it won't be a blowout from like the first quarter.
Yeah, it's funny because I underestimated Tampa Bay after they struggled in New England. And I was like, well, they're going down to Miami. Miami's really well coached.
I'm like, no.
This is ripe for a pickoff, right? An upset. Nah.
No. I'm like, no.
Not even close. So I'm going Tampa Bay on this one.
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I mean, he loses Gronk. That's all right. We'll just throw a couple touchdowns to Antonio Brown. He's got so many weapons on that team. It's disgusting.
I know.
Next up, are you going to get up early for this one? Sunday, 9:30 a.m. We're back in London, mate. That was terrible. That was more Australian than British.
That's why I don't try to do
we need Az to do these games for us. We got Miami traveling to London to play Jacksonville. 1-4 versus 0-5.
I actually went like back and forth like I don't know 50 times. It's like and then just before I decided it's like yeah I'm gonna go with the Jags. I'm like no I can't do it. I'm gonna go with it's just that those two times. I mean I don't see that much of a difference. And yes I do give the Dolphin coach. I do like the Dolphin coaching staff. I do. I really do. It's just something's not. It's just not working right now. I don't know what it is. It's like they just can't get out of their way on offense, and then it just puts their defense in such a hole. And they're not getting those big quirky plays that they used to get on special teams and pick sixes anymore. So they relied on those, and it's just not working for them. But I'm just still gonna pick them against the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami too. Jacoby Brissett looked good, and now they're going back. They're going back to Tua this week.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Bruce Arians said? Like, wow, he said Jacoby's so strong that he's hard to tackle. I guess his players were coming back to the sideline saying that guy's a tank. I can't bring him down.
Well, that's what Tua's supposed to be.
I know.
Like, geez, damn.
I know.
Regardless of that, if they're not going anywhere this season, Tua's got to get in there and try to like get some kind of like more confidence and more in tune with the offense and try to get to a point where he's kind of more comfortable there and hopefully in the coming seasons they'll do better. I don't know.
This is the kind of season to do it.
Yeah.
Once you determine you're out of it, which they probably will never admit until it's too late, but You kind of have to play with house money and use it as practice.
I
And
agree.
experience.
And the way I think of it is, it's like, okay, so what if they were a little bit more competitive and would wind up with like, 9-8 or 10-7? So what? But they'll never catch Buffalo. The way Buffalo's playing, this is the season where you kind of work on your
And
game.
you're not going to get a wild card with that record either.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm with you. Next up, back in the US of A at 1 p.m., our normal times, the 2-3 struggling Chiefs head to the nation's capital to take on the aforementioned Washington football team. Under investigation. Stand by.
I mean, I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one. I'm going to see if they can kind of get back up to 500. I don't think Washington, is as good as some of the teams that can give the Chiefs a big run for their money. I think the Chiefs can still beat them. Heineke's doing okay, but their defense still is not. It's certainly not close to what they were last year. So the Chiefs should win this one.
Yeah, I'm also going Kansas City. I can't see the Chiefs falling to 2-4. I mean, granted, it is a road game that always lends a bit of difficulty to the whole thing, but they're the defending AFC champs. At some point, they got to look like it, right?
Yeah. Although if they're going to keep giving the ball away, you never know. It's like
right.
4 turnovers this past week. Jeez.
They really are getting sloppy, and now he doesn't have Hilaire, even though Hilaire's been fumble prone this year, but he doesn't have Hilaire for a couple weeks.
That's right.
He'll be going to Williams and whoever else in there. They'll be doing jet sweeps with Pringle and Hardman, and they'll be pulling the gadget plays, that's for sure. But I still think they'll have enough to win. So far, and we'll see what happens with the next one. I think we're all road dogs so far. If you consider Miami a road dog, Jacksonville is considered the home team in that game. Next up, 1 o'clock on Fox, we've got the LA Rams traveling to New York to play the New York Giants with Mike Glennon at quarterback. Oh, no. I lost you.
Yes, it's mine.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Sorry.
All right.
Must be a glitch in the internet, I guess.
Yeah, we lost you there for a second. So, Rams at Giants with Mike Glennon at quarterback.
Yeah, we just talked about all their injuries, and it's like the Rams are still one of the top teams. So I can't see how they could lose to the Giants. And it's a shame too. Just as the Giants were kind of just their offense was getting a little bit better and better, but now they have all those injuries. Got to go with the Rams.
Yeah, same. Rams, another road dog. 4 road dog games in a row here.
Wow, that's scaring me now.
Well, the Rams. Yeah, the Rams got to keep pace with those pesky Cardinals.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Giants defense doesn't look very stout. So, but it's the NFL.
That's right.
Next up, and I think we're gonna finally deviate. The Houston Texans at 1-4 travel to the 1-4 Indianapolis Colts. CBS 1 o'clock.
Yeah, this is like a perfect schedule for the type of game that the Colts really need, like where the Texans aren't that good, and the Colts, I think, are better than a 1-4 record. You saw how they went toe-to-toe against Baltimore, and I think they'll finally kind of win a game handily. Although it is a division game, and in division games you never know, things kind of get thrown out the window. But I see the Colts definitely winning this game.
The Colts are this year's Vikings, even though the Vikings are also this year's Vikings.
Yeah, exactly.
But I gotta say, this kid Mills Davis, the quarterback for Houston, he's
getting better now. Yeah.
He's getting a little better, and you know what? He's got moxie. He's not scared. He doesn't play scared at all. They're competitive. I got to give Houston credit. They are in every single game.
I do too. Yep.
Which is, when we did our preseason picks, we thought they were going to be the worst, if not
the worst team.
Yeah, if not the bottom 3.
And now they're on their 3rd quarterback. Yep.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this, but they gave New England all they could take, and they should have won that game, except for that stupid trick punt thing just threw them completely off. They would have won that game without that.
Yep. Yeah. Which shocked me that Belichick came in there so flat, knowing he needed that.
They look bad.
Yeah. But you got to give credit also to Mac Jones in the second half. He looked terrible in the first half. Yeah, Houston's very competitive, but I don't know. You're right. I mean, when is what's his face supposed to come back? Tyrod Taylor.
I know. I gotta look into
Is this a repeat of last year? Is he never going to show up again after he plays one game and go on and that's it? He'll be on another team next year.
Boy, there's a lot of deja vu's going on from last year.
There are.
The Vikings being the Vikings, the Raiders going down a little bit earlier. It's like what the heck?
Yeah, and Tyrod Taylor playing one game and then vanishing. Yeah.
Maybe the Houston medical team did something wrong.
Oh man. So I hope not. So they need Tyrod Taylor back if they want to win some of these games. So I got to go Colts at home.
Yep.
All right. Next up, I was asleep at the wheel there for a second. The vastly improved Cincinnati Bengals at 3-2 travel to Detroit to play the 0-5 Lions. 1:00 Fox.
Yeah, this could be a game where something happens and Cincinnati starts out flat as well. But I mean, after what they did to the going toe to toe with the Packers and their whole season, actually, they've been really well. I got to go with them. And I feel bad. I really genuinely feel bad for Detroit, but that they might go 0-6. But I have to go with Cincinnati here.
I am with you again. We don't have any separate picks yet, any different picks yet. I'm also
the interesting games haven't started yet.
Yeah, right. I'm going with the road dog, Cincinnati. Cincinnati is definitely they have the ability to make the playoffs. I think right now, if all things stayed the same, all things being equal, they look like a playoff team to me. Detroit does not look like a playoff team to me. And Detroit, they're a little snake bitten, and they're just they just don't know how to close a game out yet. They don't. When you breed losing cultures, it manifests itself over time, and they need to bring in a couple of veteran guys who know how to win. They got to change the culture in that locker room, and they're too young. They bring in guys like Jared Goff, he's not a leader. They need a couple leaders to go in there and straighten it out. Kind of like when Cleveland brought Jarvis Landry into their locker room, right?
Yeah.
You've got to do something.
That's a good example, Cleveland, the way they turned it around.
That's the only way they're going to fix this in Detroit. Talent is one thing. You've got to know how to win. And that they look like the team to me that the fourth quarter comes and the palms get sweaty and they're gripping the ball a little tighter and they're just trying not to make mistakes. And then
Here we go again.
Here we go. Or here we go again. They got that mentality, right? So until they can shake that, yeah. And Cincinnati's turned that corner too.
Yes, right. Yep.
So Cincinnati on the road. Another road dog. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 road dogs out of 6 games.
This does not bode well for this week.
Might have another one. Next up, Green Bay at 4-1 travels to Chicago to play the Bears. 1:00 on Fox.
It's Chicago. It's like it's hard for me to figure out what's going on. It's like, are they really getting better? Because you made the point of how the calling of the plays went from the coach or the head coach, and then now with their quarterback Fields. Is this like they found the formula to win, or is it just they just caught the Raiders at the worst possible time with a controversy? I don't know. I can't tell. They have to show me they're a little bit more consistent. And Green Bay, Green Bay's still Green Bay. I mean, until someone can figure out how to keep Devontae Adams from having like a 10-yard cushion all around him, I'm going to keep picking Green Bay. Although I picked against them last week and almost did it, but I'm going to go with them this week.
If Chicago has a good defense, they might be able to figure that out.
Sooner or later, someone's going to figure it out.
Somebody's got to figure it out. This game really intrigues me. You're right. It is difficult to tell since Nagy turned over play calling to the offensive coordinator. They're 2-0.
Yeah. The offensive coordinator knows a lot, has gotten a lot, more with Justin Fields,
who lost 3 weeks ago and now looks very comfortable.
2 straight games. Yeah.
2 straight games.
Yep.
Doesn't look like he can win a game, but on his own, like put the team on his back. but he looks comfortable. That said, can the Bears win 3 in a row? Nah. Green Bay on the road. Next up, 1 o'clock. This is a game. The Vagabond Chargers of Los Angeles travel to Baltimore to
Wow.
take
Okay.
on
Here comes the
Lamar and the streaking Ravens.
streaky Ravens. Yeah.
Streaking.
It's like
They've won 4
sooner
straight.
or later. Sooner or later that when everybody, like 99% of everybody, jumps on a bandwagon of somebody, then that's the point where
The wheels fall off.
the wheels fall off and they have a really bad game. But it's like I'm gonna go with the Chargers, only because they haven't been really hit with the injury bug as much as Baltimore has, and they've proven they're solid. And it's not like it's like the bad schedule. I mean, they beat the Chiefs, they beat Cleveland. I mean, they're proving that they can do it. I mean, they only lost by a field goal to the Cowboys. Probably should have won that game. And I know I might get burned by it, but I'm going to go with them.
Another road dog, huh? Or a road.
Yep.
One.
And I know this is just like me shoveling the hole bigger and bigger as I keep picking more road dogs, because it's like.
Yeah, but are they a dog, or is this an even pick 'em? I mean, this game will be separated by a half point, 1 point. I mean, this one's tough to call, but
You're right. It might not be, and like you've brought up in the past, they really don't have this natural home advantage anyway. So to them, it's like whatever.
Right.
Away home.
It's them against the world. Yeah. In looking at Baltimore, they're coming on their short week, huge emotional win. Their secondary's beat up.
Oh yeah.
And now they got to go and try to defend Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, what's his face, Eckler. It's those 2 tight ends. I
don't know.
I gotta say though, one thing that impressed me, Calais Campbell, 6'8", which I never realized until he blocked that field goal.
Oh yeah.
And he almost did it again.
He almost.
How he can skinny up and squirt through the offensive line like he does, and get those hands up. That's not enough to slow down our boy Herbert.
I mean, I really would be surprised if Baltimore figured out a way to win, but.
Well, they're going to run the ball. Last week was the first game in 43 games or something. They didn't hit 100 yards rushing or something like that.
Yep.
I think they're going to be exhausted from what happened on Monday night, and that's going to be the difference. I also have Chargers on the road. I have all road teams except the Colts. Wow. Maybe another one. Next up, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox, the undefeated Arizona Cardinals travel to Cleveland to take on the 3-2 Baker Mayfields.
This was one that it's like I really couldn't make up my mind about. The Cardinals are undefeated, but the Cleveland's such a balanced team. It's like I'm actually surprised they didn't run more last week and maybe tried to shorten that game. I mean, early on they did, but then it became kind of a shootout. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. I'm gonna go with Cleveland to finally get rid of all the last undefeated team.
Yeah, boy.
I know it's. I mean, I kept changing my mind, but
here's what hurts Arizona. Chandler Jones was put on COVID IR, and now he's got there's no way he can play because he's got to pass a test and then has to wait a certain time frame and pass it.
Right.
He's not going to play. That hurts them right off the bat with pass rush. All those weapons on Arizona. I mean, is Edmonds? I don't know if Chase Edmonds is back yet, but kind of doesn't matter. However, I think the Browns need to make a statement at some point. They want it. They want to say that they're like the class of this division, and they want to be taken seriously as a legitimate contender for a championship. This is the kind of game you have to win.
Yep.
Do they go 3-3? Are they going to be a middling team, or are they going to stand up and, put their foot down at home and say, we are good, we are here. I'm going to roll the dice and say that they do that. I'm going Cleveland at home. If they don't, it's going to be a long year for them, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. I like Cleveland too. Yep.
Okay, next up. Chucky's former team, the Vegas Raiders, gambled with him and lost. Now they're 3-2, and they traveled to also 3-2 Denver, 425 CBS.
Yeah, both these teams are kind of paralleling each other. I mean, the way they kind of had the quick rise and now kind of like hit, stumbling blocks the last two games. I'm basically going with the Broncos because it's like a division game and they're home. And I know the Raiders have a lot of good things going. They have a really good offense. Carr's been playing really great. Their defense has been pretty good too, but just going to go with the Broncos because they're home and they're kind of. I kind of consider these two teams very similar. I know Carr's a much better quarterback, but other than that, I consider them, and I think the Broncos have a little bit better defense, so I consider them kind of even, and so I'll go with Denver.
Well put. They are constructed almost identically. They have all those gazelle wide receivers on both teams. They have decent running game on both teams. Steady, solid quarterback, veteran quarterbacks, in solid defenses with good pass rushes. You got Chubb and Miller on one side, and you got Nassib and all those guys on the other side. And what's his name? Crosby, Max Crosby. And,
he's a good player.
Right. On the other side, I didn't realize Teddy Bridgewater has only thrown one pick this year, and that was at the end of the game last weekend. It was his first interception. So he's been playing rock solid.
Pretty good, yeah.
He had a very quiet 115 quarterback rating last week. He's getting it done. That said, the Raiders are in turmoil with this coaching change. And sometimes when you switch a coach out, the team rallies and they get fired up and they go out and win one for the new guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Which might happen.
True. And I considered that too.
But I thought coming into the season Denver was a better team than them. I'm going to stick to that. And Denver at home in the thin air, I'm going Broncos as well. So take that, Raiders Nation. Next up, 4-1 Dallas travels to 2-3 New England, 425 Eastern. That on CBS, that means they're going to force us to watch this game.
Yeah, I think this is like a tricky game. I know based on last week it might not be, but it's a tricky game because it's like, every week of the season, Belichick can come up with something that can shut down the other, no matter who rolls in there. And sometimes he'll come up with that perfect plan to just cause, whether the Chargers are going in there or the Cowboys in this case or the Chiefs, and he could. That being said, I mean, the Cowboys have so much more talent on, definitely on offense. And now their defense is now showing themselves to be. Trevon Diggs, 6 interceptions. It's I don't think their whole defense had 6 interceptions all last year.
He's got one one player every week of the season so far. He's gotten one.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's amazing. And I know Micah Parsons is making his presence felt. There's other ones too as well. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. But like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if Belichick kind of came up with some kind of Achilles heel for them.
Yeah. I'm also going with.
Was that another road?
It's another road.
Probably
another road team, Dallas. I'm with you. This kind of looks like, without the emotional impact, the kind of thing we saw a couple weeks ago when Tampa Bay came up there, and I'm thinking,
oh yeah.
There's no way the Patriots can get in a track meet with Tampa Bay. They can't do it.
What?
And it looked like a huge mismatch, and I'm feeling the same way about it this time.
Yeah.
The difference is, the Patriots got up to beat Tom Brady. They wanted to beat Tom Brady. They put everything into beating Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Dallas is just another team that scores a lot of points coming into into that stadium, and there's no way they can keep up with them. There's no way the Patriots offense can keep up with Dallas. I mean, even if no, there's just no way. Dallas on the road. Next up, the Sunday night 8:00 game, and I bet they regret putting this one on the schedule. The 2-3 Seahawks travel to Pittsburgh to play the 2-3 Steelers.
Why would they regret? It might be a good game. I mean, I know it's Geno Smith, but
Who looked good last week?
he looked good. I don't know. Sometimes you see a guy come in relief and he looks great, but then give him the whole game and it's like, they revert back to
the old Scott Mitchell disease.
So based on that, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I think I would have probably picked the Seahawks if Russell Wilson was playing, but in this case, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Seahawks defense ain't what it used to be. And I think the Steelers found the formula. Give Najee Harris the ball and watch. And it's funny, last week before the game, Jimmy Johnson said, you got to run him 20, 25 times. It doesn't matter if he gets half a yard every time. You have to do that.
We've tried everything else. All right, let's try that.
Why did you draft him if you aren't going to? Anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what you want is Roethlisberger throwing the ball 20 times, not 40, 50, 60 times.
Yeah.
I don't see the Seahawks doing well on the road in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers are going to figure out a way to win the game. I think it's going to be kind of dull.
Probably.
We're looking at probably like 20-14 or something like that, 20-13 maybe. So, yeah, I got the Steelers at home too. And that leaves us with, and I think we've called them all the same. 4-1 Buffalo travels to Tennessee, 3-2 Monday night ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee found their running game last week, but I mean, it's against Jacksonville, so how much are we going to give that credit for? And we saw what the Bills did against the Chiefs, so I'm not even going to think twice about this one. I'll just go with the Bills.
Okay, I'm kind of stuck on this one. This could be a trap for Buffalo.
It could be, yeah.
Do we know? I haven't looked. Are AJ Green or not AJ Green, AJ Brown or Julio Jones playing for Tennessee? Because if they are, and this is the problem. This is, I want to say, by the way, for people mocking us, and deservedly so, for our records every week, but we pick these games way early. Like, we pick them Wednesday, and then by Saturday, some of these players are scratched, gone, they get hurt in practice, like things happen. And so what we pick gets thrown off, and I always want to go, I hear something, I go, can we go in and fix that? So
I don't see any of the so-called experts doing it this early.
No. So I don't know. I'm looking at their page. It's a tough call because if those two are playing, I'm leaning towards Titans at home. Let's see. Injury report. Okay. Let's see. Let's just take a quick look. AJ Brown. There's nothing. There's like questionables and outs next to other people. There's just like a minus in parentheses with him. Of course they would do that. Where's Julio? Here he is. Julio's out. Julio is out.
Okay.
Brown did full practice today. You know what? I'm trailing you by 6. I'm taking a flyer. I'm going to take the Titans at home.
Okay. I was just maybe I kind of blanked on this one, but I was just noticing. Did you do the Carolina Panthers and Vikings game in here? Isn't that a game this week?
Oh, did I miss that game?
I don't remember picking it because I remember I had went back and forth like many times on that game.
Hang on, did I completely?
And I still can't think of like a real clear cut.
I did completely skip.
I was just wondering.
Hang on a second.
Pilot unfortunately, error. I only noticed it now. So
pilot error. Let me see. I'm sure I made the graphic for it. Let me find it. Minnesota.
The only reason I remember is because it was one of the games where I'm like, I can't figure these two teams out. So
Okay, you are correct. Hang on. Let me bring it up. There we go. Because I missed it somehow. 1 o'clock on Fox. Minnesota Vikings 2-3. Travel to Carolina 3-2.
Yeah, and I kind of regret it because I know I'm going to get this wrong because it's that type of game. But I'm going to go with Carolina, even though McCaffrey's still not there, and the Vikings have a better run game. But I don't know. It's almost like a feeling about it, but just going to go with Carolina.
Yeah, I've also taken Carolina at home. This is almost like what Cleveland has to do to me.
Oh, because they're on their downward spiral too.
They have lost 2 in a row. Yeah. So are you going to be 3-3, or are you going to show the world that you're a playoff team by beating a decent team to good team coming into your building? This is it. This could be the thing with Sam Darnold, that if he plays as bad as he has the last 2 weeks, notably in the second half, this Sunday, and they fall to 3-3, he might revert back to New York Jets Sam Darnold real quick.
It'll get in his head. Yep.
It'll get in his head, and then So.
And he doesn't have the safety blanket. McCaffrey's still out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could.
But we'll see about that. But anyway, so we only have one different.
I know. It's like
one.
I can't believe that this type of week, like last week 5, this week what? It's unbelievable how
I know
that works.
Makes for boring viewing, doesn't it? We have to wait till Monday night to see if we're different.
I'll still think that's just. I mean, I still think some of these games are going to be like totally different than what we thought.
Of course they will.
Like they always are. Like some of them.
Of course they will, because that be football.
That's the attraction of the NFL.
That's right. And we're still waiting to hear from you out there, viewers, the people who watch this. And thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel. Please subscribe. Please share, like, comment, leave your picks in the comments. Leave a request to come in here and school us. We could use that.
Yeah, we could definitely use that. Well, I'd love to get some comments and see what people think.
And hit us up on the socials. Let me get my pen right there. Right there. I'm bad at that. At GeekTimeNet on the socials, and we will try to get back to you in timely fashion. Tough this month. Just blitzed with work. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, me too.
They dial up a safety blitz on me, man. It's like I start work when it's dark, and I finish work when it's dark.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? It's so bad that I sat in this chair almost all day today, and I had less than 1,000 steps at dinner time.
Wow.
How bad is that?
That is different. That is
Stuck in this
hard.
chair. It's awful.
I think with me is they just shut off the electricity in the stadium. I can't even get out in the field. Jeez. Wow.
I know.
It's like, I know. I'm hoping this time we'll get a little bit better for both of us, where we have more time for other things, enjoyable things.
That's right. But we always make time for Sunday football, and you
Definitely.
should too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good luck with your picks out there, and I guess we'll talk to you in a week.
Yep.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?